Good morning, everybody. Um, no fear. Nita is around. She just has to take care of something before she comes back into the Streamyard. So we're just gonna start it off by myself here. But Nita is here. Oh, there she is.
Trying. Okay, am I here now?
Yes, it sounds like you're here. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I woke up to a crime scene this morning.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah.
oh,
It's like,
that's
oh my God, who
emergency.
died? Yeah, it's like, who died? Oh, me. Oh my God. This was not supposed to happen.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah.
Good morning, losers. It is August 18th, 2026, and this is the Ragin to
Oh
the
my
vlogs.
God.
We're still trying to figure out what the fuck that means.
Right. Yeah. Look, I just can't get over the fact that it's August 18th already.
Yeah.
That in about what, like about 2 weeks, we're in September. You know?
I know.
I mean,
it's wild.
Yeah. I mean, take a shot every time we complain about how fast this year is going.
Dude, it is insane. Like, September for me seemed like another year away, even last week. Until Jaden was like, hey, we need to go take care of my passport, or I'm going to have to pay expedited costs. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It was
absolutely, yeah.
Oh my God, it's crazy. It means October's going to be here in like 7 weeks, and my baby's going to be gone.
Oh no! Yeah, is it baby's first passport, or she always had a passport?
This is actually baby's first passport.
Oh, very nice.
As an adult,
right? Yeah. Right. No, but that's nice. Yeah, it should because we just updated the passport for mom, and it took about 3 weeks. For us
I paid expedited anyway.
Right, because you don't want to risk it.
I don't want to take any chances with the return shipping because they don't always calculate that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it was like, yeah, let's go ahead and expedite it.
Right.
So we did.
Yeah, but that's exciting though. More exciting than it being August 18th, that's for sure.
Lame.
So I guess we should do this.
Probably. Hold on, let me find the things. Okay, there they are. You ready?
Oh, absolutely not, but hit it.
Valar Morghulis. Yes, all men must die. But we are not men.
Every one of them. Every last single one of them. All right.
No.
Where's the card?
Maybe we'll keep a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple that are okay.
Oh, man. Goodness. Right. Hey, Nita. Man, it's like, I don't know. Meredith's face really stood out this time around. So I don't know. You know, I was thinking about her the other day, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I'm like, don't be bothering me right now.
Right? Yeah.
No, let's not do this. And it's so weird, man. Grief is such a fucking wild bitch because, like, nowadays it used to be like I couldn't go an hour without thinking about her. And then it like it got crippling for a little bit after she died. And then it was like I didn't like she would still cross my mind like constantly. But it was like I'd fight myself, my own emotional state or whatever. And eventually I guess things just kind of like, you know, how it does for everybody, I guess, as far as I've read, because I don't really know because I'm neurodivergent as fuck. And that she's really the first person that died that I really, really cared about.
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, she was my second.
And so it was kind of like, I don't know how to deal with this shit.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know, but it's not as hard as it used to be.
Right,
like the void
yeah.
is just as deep. Just the tears don't fall as often.
Right, yeah. You know, because it's like, you know, because it's like, you know, for that split second, it's like I'm like going, bitch, you should have been here.
I know, all the fucking time. Like, man, you should have
Right.
seen this. You should have
Right.
seen this.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really.
I never believe what happened.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh my goodness.
Or what had happened was
well, so who's joining us here in the land of the living, though? Who's joining us today?
We got Little Dixie.
Oh, hello, Little Dixie. Hello, good morning, good morning.
Wolf
and
Daddy.
Rob, hello.
And Lou.
Hey, hello, good morning. And yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching from regions beyond. If you're joining us from Facebook, please come over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat and keep them company. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. So, hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist, self-publishing fantasy comics since 1992, and I'll let you do the math. I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales. There we go. And the medieval fantasy drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which you can read on Webtoon with new episodes updating every Tuesday. So there's another episode going up today in about an hour. And if you are joining us for the first time today, and this is the first time you're hearing about Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn is the story of a unicorn princess exiled into the mortal realm who trains to become a knight, hoping to win a king's favor and save her people. It's about trying to find your place in opposite worlds and learning the people who will stand by your side and lift you up are not the ones you'd expect. Eagle Raven is a sword and sorcery fantasy with a soap opera twist, featuring character relationship-centered stories with unicorns, elves, dragons, and furries. So the link is in the chat and in the show notes. And if you're already following Eagle Raven on Kickstarter, the pre-launch page to issue 13 is now live. So the campaign is scheduled to go live next month, but make sure you sign up so you get notified when the campaign goes live, because I'm going to have a couple of opening day goodies that's only going to be available for a very limited time and for the very first people who sign up for who actually pledge to the campaign. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you sign up. This is the QR code for my mailing list if you want to check that out as well. And when you sign up for the mailing list, you also get a PDF pack of my comics, which that I worked on. Either I did them or I worked on them. So you're going to get Tall Tales, Eagle Raven, and the Oswald Chronicles just for signing up. So, like I said, link is in the chat and also in the show notes. And joining me today, the co-hostess with the mostest.
That really ain't. I brought myself here. That's what I have to offer. Take me.
Well,
oh, yeah, really. God damn, it is. Well,
maybe not right now, though.
Not right now. Give me 5 days.
We have our limits, right?
Give me 3 to 5 days. Yeah, we're not kinking like that.
Mm-hmm. No kink shaming. However,
no,
we do have personal boundaries.
That's it. Oh, don't fall, baby. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I thought it'd be an okay idea to let the kittens stay back here, but I'll be right back because I have to kick them out.
Okay. Right, of course. It's always a good idea at that moment until it's actually that moment. So good morning, everybody. So, hey, Lorraine. So Lorraine is also in the chat. Hello, and hello, the real undead. Hello, good morning. The level of grief never gets better, no matter how often you have to go through it. That's true. Good morning. So today is so while Nina is wrestling some cats, let's see. So what's a good update today to start off with? So I guess like the biggest update for me is that I finally got my new Wacom Cintiq that I was talking about on the last episode. I was meaning to update for a while, and it just like the opportunity just finally came up. Then I just says, you know what, screw it. If I don't do it now, what am I really waiting for? You know, am I saving up for college? What's the big deal, right? What's the holdup, right? So I finally got the 24-inch Cintiq, the screen tablet, and as always, it's always the next question is, why didn't I do this sooner?
So bigger is better.
Bigger is better, that's for sure. I didn't think it would make when I first bought my 16-inch Cintiq, like I knew even at that moment I should have gotten the larger model. I think it was either the 21 or the 24 at the time.
Said that.
Yeah, but I decided at that moment it was more important to be cheap than
frugal.
To actually no, I was being cheap. No, I was not being frugal. I was being cheap because I had the money to upgrade then and there, but I decided that it's like, oh, you know,
must be nice.
Yeah, it's, you know, yeah, well, it wasn't because I didn't do it back then. You know, where I decided it was more important to be cheap than get the model that I actually needed.
Right.
You know, I knew it was dangerous starting off the conversation this way, but what the hell, right?
Get burning.
So, after some wrestling with this thing, because for some reason plug and play just does not work in this house. Following the instructions, it didn't work. The thing had me chasing wires up and down. In the end, I did have to buy one extra wire. But you know, it's like, so once I got everything, you know, together, I was finally able, there came a point I was playing musical chairs with the wires. Like, no matter how I plugged it in, it wouldn't work. And then all of a sudden, it's like I followed the directions exactly the way I did the first time, which didn't work. And now all of a sudden it worked. So I don't know what I did. I don't know what was going on, but
something wrong.
So yeah, it's like, but no, it's finally working now. And like I said, the difference was immediate. Like, even mom was like going, oh wow, it's like, yeah, you can really see the difference from here. Like, you can
that one, it hits all the right spots, right?
Yeah, it's like, I can, you see, because the reason, like, and I didn't realize too, like how much of the other like issues I was having had everything, most likely had everything to do. Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, Zerlina. Hey, Mary. Yeah. It's like, you know how it's like you're flipping it like 5 times and then it's like boom, then it just suddenly works. I don't know what's going on there. You know, so it's just like, you know, so like I, you know, because it's like, you know how it's like I've been like struggling with a lot of burnout lately. For a bit, actually. You know, it's like I've been struggling with a lot of burnout and a lot of procrastination. And you know what?
I have a home remedy for burnout.
Oh, yeah?
Smoke lots of weed. That way you forget what you've already done. Oh. So everything is new again. And it's like, yes.
Well, okay. I'm not sure that'll work for me very well. I'd probably just be the type that sleep all day.
I have gotten super active.
You know? But so like the first couple of days I was like really trying to get the hang of this. And and then it's like by the second day, I began to realize that it's like a lot of what I thought was just mental issues was actually just I was using the wrong thing the whole time. So like if I'm drawing on paper, I'm drawing traditionally, like I can see immediately, like I can, see immediately like the space that I have to work with. And it's like, and I know like, okay, like at this size paper, like I can only like really optimally draw like this much stuff in this piece before it starts to look really cluttered and, like just way too much going on. Like you're not, if I take like a piece of paper that's for a trading card and a piece of paper that's for a comic book page, like those are going to require like two different types of layouts essentially, right? Because you're not going to draw a comic book page onto a trading card size piece
unless you're a masochist.
Well, right, because I've seen people do that, but that's not, that's for them to enjoy, but not me. But the problem is that when you're on a tablet, when you're drawing digitally, it kind of tricks you into thinking that you can draw a whole comic book page onto that trading card size canvas.
Right.
And essentially that was kind of like what I was doing on my other tablet. Now, my Move Ink, which is my portable one, doesn't really count because it's supposed to be portable. It's supposed to be smaller. So I kind of like mentally adjust to that tablet. But when it comes to my desktop, I guess what it was that because I was drawing on a much smaller space, but I was trying to draw a large piece, for some reason it kind of like, I don't know, like I couldn't like really kind of like see the forest for the trees type of thing. Like, yeah, I couldn't really get a clear vision of a clear view of what I was working on because I was always working in pieces because the screen could only hold so much information in it. So when I finally got this large, this screen, right, all of a sudden I can have the entire width of a panel, like a full panel on a screen, just a little bit larger than actually comic book size. And and almost immediately I felt different working on this tablet. That it's like, holy
because
shit.
It's like seeing the finished product because you're seeing that large, that like everything is true to scale almost.
Right, exactly. And it's like, and I could see everything all at once. So it's like I can see my piece in its pretty much its entire context.
I could see it as a whole.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so it's like the fact, so it's just been like, so I've just been like really like, so there are these scenes that I've been avoiding in issue 13 that I always thought it was like, oh, past me was really ambitious. It was a little too ambitious. Like it was really expecting a lot from future me. But
I'm
then
about to fight. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh. So, but when I finally got to these panels on this size of a canvas, all of a sudden it was like, oh wait, I can do this. This is fine. This is fine. And it's like, and I was able to draw out what I thought was what I was avoiding as a complicated scene, where it's just like, no, it only looked complicated because I couldn't see everything at once in a way where it would be comfortable for me to work on it, still seeing everything. So I don't know if it'll come across, but it's like imagine, like, it's like, so my screen is 24 inches across. Actually, that's just the maybe I think it's like this, the width of it is like 27 inches total. But I guess like the working screen is 24 inches, but it's like, imagine that 27 inches wide.
I would love that. All those men in my face.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, and not only that, but I can draw them normally without like feeling like I'm struggling to draw all these characters, because because these last couple of issues, there's a shit ton of characters in a lot of the panels. And, yeah, exactly. And that's what's been taking very long with these pages. Because if I were to like look at my information here, like this page alone that I've been working at so far is it's taken me 15 hours and 56 minutes to work on. But it just feels nice. Like, not only am I able to work on a panel with it on the full screen, but now I have touchscreen capability as well. So all I have to do is treat it like a tablet. And and it's like, and I don't have to like worry about keys. Like it doesn't show up on the screen because technically it's not a Clip Studio thing. It's a Wacom thing where I have a keyboard shortcut on the screen. So I don't have to use a keyboard at all. So I just have to like just touch my screen whenever I need something, and it just works. And you know what? It's like, yes, was it expensive? Yes. And mind you, I saved money by not getting the 4K version, because in the end,
and in like 9 months, Daphne's gonna be like, I was being cheap. I shouldn't have got that. I should have got the 4K version.
Well,
in 29 inches.
Because because the thing is, though, I do have a comparison, because my previous tablet that was smaller, the 16-inch, that was 4K.
Okay.
And when I bought the Move Ink, which is not 4K, I was like it's like, what exactly am I doing in 4K?
True that, because the only time I've noticed a difference is watching House of Dragon.
Right, but that's the thing.
You don't have a 4K TV, you missing out.
Right, yeah. And it's like, and I'm thinking, it's like, well, right, I'm not video editing on this. So what do I need 4K for? And like 4K doubles the price. So in the end, I got like their standard version that was still touchscreen. It had everything else, but it wasn't 4K. So I spent like in total about $1,600 for this model, but it works perfectly. Like I said, unless you're doing something crazy, like maybe if you're doing animation, maybe if you're doing video, maybe you need the 4K. But I'm just doing static images, and even if I am doing video, I really don't care about that 4K stuff. So I was able to save money that way. And like in the end, it's like I got what I should have gotten from the beginning.
That's one thing that annoys me about 4K and video production.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that the dragons are so much clearer and whatever, but I don't like seeing human beings' pores.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and they'll have up close shots where you can see nose hairs and shit. And I'm like, I don't need all this. I don't need it.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's kind of weird. Like, there's certain things that really do work in 4K, and then there's other things that don't. So in my case, this didn't need to be in 4K. But one thing's for sure, though, it definitely needed to be larger. That's what I learned. Don't be cheap and go big. Always get larger than you need. Well, than you think you need. So, so I'm really happy. And now it just feels like the rest of this issue is not as daunting. This is, so I have like, this is like 7 pages. I have 7 pages left on this issue. So, yeah. So I have, and now it doesn't feel as daunting to finish it. I don't feel like I'm like now, instead of like dragging my ass to work on stuff, now it's like, yeah, let's get to it. Let's work and, just get pages done, and it's like,
and And you have to work to your death with that, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was the funniest thing too, right? Because every review that I watched about this particular model, everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's super heavy. It's like you make sure that wherever you set it up, that's where it's going to stay because you're not going to want to move this all the time and blah blah because it's really heavy and blah blah blah, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like UPS comes to drop it off and he goes, "Oh, I have a box for you." It's like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like kind of ready for it. And then he gives it to me and I'm like, "What the heck?" I'm just like, "What the heck?" Because in the end, the shit's only like 13, 14 pounds. Right. So it's like, so I take
oh my God, come pick up one of these all-in-one monitors, like
right,
104 pounds.
And the thing is like, look, yeah, granted, this is not something that I want to like move all the time, but I want to be able to move when I need it to. And sometimes I just need to pick it up and slide it. And it's like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, oh, my camera's not low enough. And it's like, okay, so it's not an iPad. Right. But it's like the way these reviewers, these people online were talking about it, you would think the shit was like 70, 80 pounds. And I was like going, do you even lift, bro? Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you even lift, bro? Like, holy shit, really? You guys are complaining about 13 pounds? So it was just like, so it's just really funny. So I just set it up so I can like just move it, like kind of like tuck it away when I don't really need it. I mean, it takes up a lot of space, but yeah, but I'm really, really happy with this. And I'm really looking forward to finishing this issue by the end of the month, because God knows I still want to run this campaign in September. So I at least want to try to get approved before the campaign, starts in September. But oh my goodness. So yeah, so don't be cheap and get larger than you need. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
God.
I
can remember moving some football's equipment, and he had all the top-notch shit for the day, and just to move like 3 dots matrix printers and shit.
Yeah. Really,
like now it's like you grab that HP and you're like,
right, exactly.
No, it's not the brother though. The brother, when that bitch arrived, I was like, holy shit.
Right.
It's a tank. It's a fucking tank.
And then it's like you open it up and then most of it's just packaging.
Actually, with the brother, the 11x17 one, whatever the hell Chris got, it is a tank. Right. And it's also a tank that was delivered to the wrong address.
I remember that story.
Oh yeah. My God. Because the bitch showed up knocking on my door during a vlog. And it's like, thank goodness she did, because no one was ever going to believe, oh, no, we never got that printer.
Right,
whatever, thousands of dollars printer. We didn't get that. We were going to need another one.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like...
Because I sure as hell, I wouldn't have loaded it up by myself and tried to bring it to the person. I'd have been fucking calling the post office or UPS and shit. But her and her son loaded that bitch up and brought it here, and I'm like, can you help me get it in the house?
Oh, right, yeah. Well, that's that. Well, at least she was, good.
Yeah, they were nice. They were really cool.
Yeah,
that's luck down here. I'm telling you, because every other house got a meth head in it, so it's a gamble.
Right. Right. So finishing up this issue 13, right? So sometimes I just like keep going back and rereading my stuff, just to kind of like catch myself up on what I'm doing. And also it's not that I don't remember my own story, but sometimes it's like I just need to remember, like, oh, okay, this is what it looked like, this is how it flowed, this is how, like, to kind of keep like an overall consistency. And so with this series with Eagle Raven, right? So I'm doing the comic book series, and then I'm doing a novelization to go with it. Because one, I just thought it was a fun thing to do, especially like when I was younger. Like, I really enjoyed watching movies and then getting the novelization for the movies, right? To get like all the extra, stuff. So I thought, oh, that'd be cool if I did the same thing with this comic. And just because D23 was this weekend, right? And something really stood out to me, from D23. I mean, and that is, so Disney got a romantasy author to do an original Beauty and the Beast based story for Webtoon that she is then also turning into a novel.
Ew.
So I'm like, well, I know what I'm buying. I know what I'm getting, Now, mind you, she's obviously not going to write the type of Beauty and the Beast stories that I personally am into, but I'll take this one. I'm definitely interested in this. So it's not the first time that I've seen like web comics do a novelization, or actually it's the reverse, where someone takes a novel and does the webtoon based on it. Like the book that I have still yet to finish reading is Under the Oak Tree, which is a Korean novel that was turned into not a webtoon. It's on a website called Manta, where they did a webcomic based on that novel. And then they've just been releasing the comic and the novels together. And I've been collecting them. Luckily, it's a 3-volume series. So there's one more volume left for me to finish it. So, so I'm writing I'm writing the novelization for Eagle Raven, right? And then it's like, and of course, in order to kind of like get a sense as to, like just writing as a craft in general, I follow all these other authors. And the one thing that kept coming up that I never quite understood, like conceptually, right? So is this whole thing about like morally gray characters, like morally gray heroes, which I kind of had like a weird, like I would constantly say, oh, we love a morally gray hero, or we love a morally gray, main male character or something like that. And it's like, what is morally gray anyway, right? So of course I looked it up, and it's like a morally gray character is one whose actions and motivations are ambiguous, neither fully good nor fully evil, often reflecting the complexity of real human behavior. Right? And then, but the thing is, my next question was, well, isn't that just writing a normal person? Like, aren't we like all technically morally gray characters?
Well, there's the extremes. You have most people are the in between. So morally gray to me is easy to write. Like, say like, who's a good example? What would be a good morally gray? Tyrion Lannister.
Right. Yeah.
He just wanted to survive. That's what we're all trying to do.
Right.
Survive the game.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, he would be a good. He would be a morally gray character. As but
I mean, aside from all the whoring and stuff, when it came down to circumstances where he had to make a moralistic decision,
right?
Sometimes it was like one extreme, sometimes it was the other.
Right?
But it was also, he always took the safest route for himself, which is what the majority of people are going to do. So therefore, easy to write.
Yeah, like someone like Cersei, like she would be the villain of the story, right? No, she would be like. There's no question that she's the villain of the story.
Nah, not at all. That bitch made Maleficent look like Cinderella's fairy godmother.
Right? Yeah. Like Arya. Like, she's not necessarily a hero, even though she is a main character.
She's the hero, actually.
Right, but she's definitely morally gray, though.
Right.
you know, because holy shit, was she willing to do shit. Like, even though it was in protection of her family, she did some really heinous shit.
Right? Tony Soprano.
You know,
like
Tony Soprano, I think, is a villain. I really do think he's a villain, because it's like, I think like the amount of bad things that he did in general really outnumbered the good things that he did.
True.
Even if it was for like the good of his family, he was pretty much a villain. You know, like there was nobody in the normal world who was going to like say,
he's
you did good. No, I would say Tony's just like, I would say, like, I think like Walter White started morally gray, then turned into a villain.
No. Yeah, that's like, there was a progression there, because the dude did start off, it was like, oh, it's for my family.
Right.
Then it was like, it's for my family, but no.
Right. And I think that once he really got into his ego, really got
there you go.
Yeah, it is a villain that everyone just forget. Kind of like Scarface, you know, like Tony Montana. Like I never understood that. And even like when people would watch The Godfather, it's like, these are villains, you assholes. You know, these are not people you're supposed to be looking up to. You know, it's kind of like, you know, look, my favorite movie, well, not my favorite movie, because I actually didn't like the movie. I liked Christian Bale in it, but I didn't like the movie. American Psycho is my favorite book. There is, you know, no fucking planet that Patrick Bateman's a hero.
Right.
No fucking planet. This man is a villain, right? You know, and it's like, you know, and and it's like, but that's like a different conversation that I want to have. And it's like, you know, like, why do we kind of, you know, find ourselves attracted to villains? But today I want to like talk about more like about the heroes, you know, because, you know, when we're writing, right? Like when was the first time you clocked somebody as a hero? Like, who was the first hero that you remember like ever thinking that's a hero, not a main character, not someone you can relate to, but it's like, no, that's a hero?
Samwise.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Honestly, hot take. I think Samwise is more of a hero than Frodo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Frodo was more of a victim of circumstance, but Samwise is the hero.
Sam stepped up. Everything Sam did, Sam volunteered to do. Sam was given chance after chance after chance to leave Frodo's side, and he stood there.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I agree. Samwise is definitely a hero. What about chat? About in the chat?
Who's your heroes?
Yeah, who were the first? Like, who was the first like character that you pegged as a hero? Like, this is a hero.
Thank you.
Oh, that's not a hot take. That's true. Yeah.
Look, they're all coming with us.
Right. Yeah. You know, it tried,
but he was too good for that even.
Right. Yeah.
Hero.
Yeah. You know, but it's like, because for me, I had to think about this, right? Because it's like, I guess that's kind of the thing, right? Is that we're not talking about a main character. We're not talking about relatable. We're talking about this is a hero. And it's like, for me, I had to really think about it. And I realized that it's like, holy shit. I think the first time I clocked a character as a hero is Justin from The Secret of Nim. I had to really think about this.
I didn't even. Yeah, like I wouldn't have made that connection. Like going back, that would have probably been the first.
Right. You know. Yeah. You see, I don't know. It's like, yeah. You see, that's the funny thing, because I didn't take She-Ra as a hero. Like, it's very strange, right? And I think that you know, and it's like, because I had to, it's like, why? Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
To me, the hero is the one without superpowers.
I think that's what it is.
And be done with something. Like, I guess that's the difference. Are we talking heroes or superheroes? Heroes.
Right.
Heroes are Samwise Gamgee. Heroes are Justin. Heroes are... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point, because it's like, you know, yeah, because that cat from American Tail. You know, it's like because it's like, if they have powers already, then it's kind of like a given. Like I don't have to sit there.
If you have superpowers, your actions are not heroic. They're just a thing you can do.
They're extensions of it, right? You know, so yeah, that's why it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, right, but see, I was watching, you know, like Transformers and everything too, and I knew Optimus Prime was the good guy,
right?
You know, and Megatron was the bad guy, but
we were just watching that to get through to the next cartoon, you know,
right? You know,
and so we weren't invested in the lore,
right? But did I see Optimus Prime as a hero? Not really, because all of the oh, there goes my nerd cred.
Transformers,
the
Autobots,
right?
Right.
Like they were all supposed to be good.
Look at me,
right? Yeah, they were all supposed to be good. So, you know, I didn't have to think about it. Where I think that when I watched The Secret of Nim, there was all of a sudden there was this ambiguity where you kind of did have to earn your place as a hero. Well, you and it, you know, pretty much, yeah.
He was a puppy back then. Yeah,
you and Rob, you and my sister can go to therapy together over that, because yeah. Okay, he was an unwavering leader. Okay, so there's like all these. Yeah, I guess what it is, it's like, okay, because that's the funny thing, right? I guess it goes back to superpowers, right? Or superheroes, where it's like, I guess once it's established already that you're unwavering or you're the unwavering leader or something, I don't have to think about you being a hero. But I guess if you kind of have to earn your place to be a hero, that's where you have my attention.
Right.
You know, and that was kind of like, and you know, it's like, so it's like I'm reading, so it's like I'm reading like my own work, and it's like, and then it's like, it's kind of like this weird thing where it's like how far can a hero go and still remain a hero? Because it's like Seeds of Chaos, this game that I like playing, they just recently had a major update because technically they're finishing Act 1. And that's the premise of the game, is that what it's about, this hero that gets kidnapped by demons to work for them. And as the game goes on, you kind of make these little micro decisions that begins to kind of like, okay, it's like you go from hero to morally gray, and then you start making like these other decisions where it's like, okay, yeah, you go to, and then you get to anti-hero, and then all of a sudden the decisions you start making, it's like, okay, there comes a point where, okay, bro, now you're a villain. Yeah, there's no question about that, right? So, so the thing is, like, have you ever seen like a hero that was probably a little like too heroic, like almost like a little too goody? Like, let's take it to the opposite, like really crank it that end to 11, where it's like a person is so heroic, it's like, I can't buy this. I don't buy this.
Oh, Superman for me. Like
Right.
I've never gotten into Superman because the motherfucker's invincible except for a fucking rock from his home fucking planet. Like, and his planet's probably made of this rock, so that never made any sense to me. Like when I was a kid, the calculate. No, this doesn't. He has laser vision. He can this master breath that can blow shit away.
Right.
Whatever in a single bound and all this other fucking bullshit that it's just too much.
Right. Well, because the one theory that I read as to why.
There you go.
Oh, my wife hates Captain America because he's too much of a Boy Scout, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, like they're kind of like comes a point where it's like they're a little too good. Like the thing with Superman is like the thing that I read, like the whole point of Superman is I here is a man with all the power, like literally the power of God. And he chooses, and he still chooses to be good.
Right.
Which I think is the reason why what was that director's name? Schneider, that I think that's why he did the movies that he did, where it's like because he couldn't understand how you could have all that power and choose to be good. So, and he made those movies, according to that. But then again, the guy is like a Randian, so it's like, oh, okay, to a thief, everybody steals type of thing. So it's like to an asshole, everybody's a secret asshole type of thing. So, and then it's like when I started reading like romantasy books, right? There was like this kind of like odd thing that also was popping up that was kind of like, like the morally gray character or even like the villains, where it's like, what was appealing of a morally gray character is that they didn't follow the letter of the law, where it's like they said the problem with actually good characters is that they'll sacrifice you for the semantic of the law. While a darker character will sacrifice the semantics to protect you. Like a hero will follow the letter of the law, even if it means sacrificing you.
Right.
But darker characters will sacrifice, will go against that
morally
law.
great, neutral good.
Right, something like that, right? Because then it's like I kind of wonder like how much of it just like how much do we learn this from like Dungeons and Dragons manuals? Einstein will do that. Yeah, she keeps checking her toes.
Let me grab it.
Manuals. So that's kind of like, so that's kind of like the like I said, a person like for me, a character has to earn their heroism. But at the same time, there's still a certain line that still can't be crossed before they stop being heroic. Chaotic good is the best personality. What's chaotic? Let's see. So, chaotic good. Name me a chaotic good character.
Oh God, I can't because you wouldn't know him. The only chaotic good character that comes to mind right off the bat is an OC from a role-playing campaign.
Right. Well, yeah, they're usually OCs.
I don't know.
Yeah, because for me, it would be my Loki. That's chaotic good. Okay. That's like that. I made him in a way where he's a pain in the ass, but. He always does the right thing, or he tries to do the right thing. But he's going to be a pain in the ass about it. So it's like, so I guess it's like, so when I'm writing Eagle Raven, right? So there's a couple of scenes in Eagle Raven where I wanted to like delve into like kind of like a little darker side, that just because she's the hero or she's, like her entire thing is earning that heroic ending, right? It's like I also wanted to trip her up a bit. right? And there's like a couple of places where it's like, because especially in the novel, I'm kind of like, like adding more detail to, right? Not to justify it. You see, and that's the thing too, not to justify the behavior, but that you understand that it's like, just because you're, like you're on this path to being heroic, it doesn't mean that everything you do aligns with that. Right. Because it's like, you're still human. You're still, and Eagle Raven, especially, she's half human. You're still going to have your feelings to deal with. You're still going to have circumstances that don't align with what would be characterized as a hero moment. But I feel that those little, that not necessarily darker moments, but just like those non-heroic moments are important. Because like I said, it's like, yeah, it's like
everything is important, even the ones that weren't for whatever reason. But
right, because I think that the mistake
it's called character development,
right, and I think that that's what a lot of like in indie comics, I'll keep this kind of like, like a lot of the stuff that I read in indie comics is kind of like, okay, it's all or nothing. It's like you're doing everything
or nothing.
Heroic, or you're not a good person. It's like, and I kind of think that it's not really a good idea, especially if you're writing for adults, because there was another author who explained that the reason why children's stories have absolute good and absolute evil is because you have to keep the stories simple enough so that these concepts stick at that age. And then the stories get more and more nuanced as they grow up. Right? Because it was a conversation about how that there's, like stories nowadays, there's no heroes and there's no villains anymore. Every villain has a redemption arc and every hero has a bad dark side to them. And honestly, I'm one of these people who kind of hate that trend. It's like, I really like it's like, yeah, because it's like, then in the end, what you're saying is that everything can be excused.
Right.
And it's like, and that's not like, there's
not everything can be excused and not everything can be won. Like,
right. Yeah, I think that's a good way of that's a good way of putting it. Not everything can be excused, not everything can be won. But it's like, but when younger readers need to see that the dragon can be defeated, type of thing. It's like,
I also think, I was always the opposite, because like with our children, like,
right.
I prefer to read them the longer, like Chris too. Like, we would read The Wizard of Oz, like the full, like the Frank L. Baum's Wizard of Oz, not some whatever,
right, some sanitized
book or whatever. None of that shit. Grimm's fairy tales, fucking Lord of the Rings. That was a choice read for them.
Yeah.
Because I wanted them to determine that for themselves, and because like I don't believe, like, this one's complicated. My brain's so scrambled in this because I have so much. Like, you need to know that sometimes the dragon is going to eat your ass, because you need that reasonable fear too. Right.
Yeah. And I think that it's because like everybody gets a trophy, right? Yeah. It's like, and I think that that's why, there's like this weird discourse online about like, if a character does a bad like no matter how good you are, if you do one like questionable thing,
now you're a villain.
Everything, right? It negates everything, every good thing, without taking into context what that thing is.
Right.
Like there's this movie, Inside. It was an Inside Man. I think it was called Inside Man. It was a Spike Lee movie. With Jodie Foster in it, and I forgot the other guy's name. I think, was it Gerald Butler? No, I don't think it was a different actor. But okay, so it's about a guy who breaks into a bank to steal like one particular safe deposit box. And what happened, it's like, as the story goes on, and of course it's like everybody's trying to like, investigate how did he do it and blah 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 and whatever it is. And it turns out that this wealthy philanthropist that he stole this box from, that he stole the safety deposit box from, I think like the guy's own bank. I think it was like, it's just kind of like a weird thing. I forgot, I forget the details. But it was like this one safe deposit box that there was no record even existed. But once he stole that box, everybody knew it existed. And what it turned out was that this one box contained proof that this wealthy philanthropist who was well loved and everything, he had gained his wealth through Nazi opportunism.
Right.
So essentially, he gained his wealth because he collaborated with the Nazis very, very early on. And what he did was that he pretty much looted the wealth of wealthy Jews trying to escape Germany. Right. And that's how he built his wealth. And he thought that his philanthropy would kind of like cover for his sins. When in fact, he was just, and, and it's like, and at the very end, the guy is trying to like explain that it's like, oh, but look at all the good that I did. But it's like, but the moral of the story is that, yeah, but you built it on a foundation of evil. You sent people to camps so that you could get their wealth.
Right.
It's like, so it's like, but, so it's like in that context, yeah, that's it. Clive Owen and Denzel Washington. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's like Little Dixie says, it's a bullshit mindset and really shows the mindset of people nowadays. Screwing up is part of life, and having that pressure to never screw up will drive people crazy and never grow as a person. Exactly.
Right. So personality disorders where you sit there in your head all the time rethinking everything you've ever said.
Right. Yeah. So in the context of this movie, like it was the opposite, that it didn't matter how much good he did. It didn't rectify the evil that he had to do to build that foundation. Yeah. And even then, the good he was only doing, it was more to just like assuage his guilt over what he did, not because he was actually a good person. He just thought that doing that is, yes, Amen. Gen Z, yeah, that's exactly, they're going insane for the perfection mindset. So in that case, and then I think in the end, it's like the guy was handed over to like some Nazi hunters to be tried in Germany and usually hung. Usually they were executed for collaborating with Nazis. So, why that never happened to Coco Chanel, I would have to look up, because Coco Chanel was a Nazi collaborator. Everybody knew that she was, and yet that bitch was able to die in her own bed. So I don't know what happened there. So then it's like you're talking about good people, good heroes, like a hero, but, it's like, the stuff that they do that may not line up with that heroism, but they just end up doing because they're human anyway. Right? And it's like, and there's this particular scene. I'm not going to spoil it because it's fairly recent in the series. And I don't know if everyone's like gotten their books and read it yet. I'm still sending out the last of the trade paperbacks, so I don't want to spoil it. So there's this scene that I'm pretty sure, if I did it correctly, people are going to like pretty much see Eagle Raven do this and go, what the fuck? and it's like, and this was a scene that like I really like had to really debate, like, why does she do this? Like, it seems a little like hardcore,
It's over
like
the top.
But I don't think it comes out of nowhere. You see, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like why they didn't end up at The Hague. I don't know,
Hollywood stuffs.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't think that this behavior that I have Eagle Raven do comes out of nowhere. But there still has to be some kind of like explanation for it that I go through more in detail in the novel. Because in the comic, it just would have been like just an info dump. And it's like, I don't think that it would have really lent itself to anything. Like in the end, in the comic, this is something that you have to decide for yourself. Like why if you understand why she did this. But in the novel, I am able to go into like her thought process as to like why she had to do this ultimate act, why she just decided I have to do this or it's never going to stop. Type of thing, right? And like, I don't think it makes her less of a hero because there's certain logical things that you have to do. But I don't think that, that Eagle Raven turns into Arya at that point. It's like, I think that this is a decision that she had to make at that point. It's like, if I don't do this, this is going to come back to haunt me. And I have to establish myself very clearly.
Be given a completely pacifist route and have an interesting story.
Right. You see that? Yeah, that was also my thought process too. That it's like, I think that's also a thing too. Like when heroes don't work is when it's like they're determined to be the goody two shoes and to do the right thing the entire time.
Right.
Not, it's like there's this scene in ElfQuest. Let's just say that this is very similar to the scene that I did in Eagle Raven. I don't honestly, I can honestly say I didn't base it on this, but it's a similar sentiment in the scene. So in the 4th volume, where the Wolf Riders, they're going into the caverns to fight the mountain trolls that are holding the castle, right? And they're trying to fight the mountain trolls. This is before they find Two Edge's armor, right? So they hit and so it's the Wolf Riders, it's the Go Backs. They're fighting their way in the caverns. They come across these trolls who initially they didn't know that they were there. And I guess they were playing some kind of dice game. And Cutter and what was her name? Kavi decide that they're going to attack trolls anyway, that they're not going to wait, that they're just going to wipe them out right now. And that's what they do. And Lita kind of freaks out because she doesn't, it's like, why are you attacking them? It's like, no, we have to do this. Because if it was them coming across us, they would do the same. Their goal would be to wipe us out.
It's an us or them situation.
Right, at this moment, right. And we're at a point in the story where it literally is an us or them, Right. So so they attack the trolls. They pretty much wipe everybody out. And Lita, I guess so Lita comes across a troll that's wounded, that's pretty much mortally wounded, but he's still alive. And out of habit, out of like not wanting to see anything suffer, she's about to go heal him when Kavi stops her. Mm-hmm. And she goes, no, you do not do that here. And Lita's trying to argue with her, and Kavi goes, no, you heal him now, and he'll thank you with a knife in the back later. I still can't believe how much of this book I remember. That's how iconic ElfQuest is. It's like, yeah, it's like you heal him now, he'll thank you with a knife in the back later. All you're doing is keeping our enemies alive longer. You know? And so what Kavi does is that she puts her spear in his head. She finishes him off. And Lita is so traumatized by it. Because it's like, she's the goody. She wanted to like, no, it's like, that doesn't, what are we turning into? And it's like, well, at this point, we're turning into what we need to do.
Right.
We're turning into what we need to do. That's it. And the thing is, though, now the question is whether you still think they're heroic or not. Right. But I think in the context of the larger story, I still was able to view them as the good guys, regardless of that scene, regardless of the war done. Because this was a very important decision that needed to be done. Because it's like, this was going to have, because if you don't make this decision now, this is going to have repercussions later. You heal him now because you need to feel good. This is the same troll that's going to this is going to have consequences that you're not intending. This is the same troll that's going to kill you when he gets to you later. He's not going to care that you healed him. He's just going to see, this is the sucker who made me live, who allowed me to live another day so I can get back. So I can literally fight another day. And that's what you're trying to get them to stop. So there was that. So that's a similar sentiment that I have in Eagle Raven, where there comes a point where she has to make a decision, that it's like, well, I either end it now or this will be a big consequence later. Right. And then I guess in order to like, even though it's kind of, like I said, it was kind of like an intense thing for her to do. The symbolism of what she was doing was significantly important for the rest of the characters and to establish herself as to what kind of character she was. And in the end, whether she had the ability to make those difficult decisions. She's fighting for a throne, right? You can't be a goody on a throne. There is no such thing as a good king. It's like you have to defend that throne. If you're fighting for a throne, you have to be able to defend it. And I think that Eagle Raven at that moment did what she needed to do to show that she will defend that throne. But I don't think it makes her less of a hero for doing that.
Right.
And I think that also what was more important too was how other characters reacted to her making that decision. And the other thing that I pointed out as well is that there was a significant difference between how the elves took what she did and how the mortals took what she did. So it's like, it's not just whether a hero does a good thing or a bad thing, right? It's about how do the characters around them interpret what this action is.
I think it would be more how the reader interprets.
Right, and then it leads back. It follows back to how the reader interprets that thing. And the thing is though, it's like you're never going to control how the reader actually interprets. what they consider heroic, what they don't consider heroic. It's kind of like the argument with there's always this thing about Luke Skywalker, right? Where it's like the trilogy pretty much is the trilogy pretty much is the growth, like the growth of a hero. Right. So you have like in the first episode, you have kind of like this whiny farm boy that it's like, oh, he's the fucking chosen one. What the fuck? It's like,
little whiny bitch.
Right. For me, Empire Strikes Back is always that's my go-to Star Wars movie. Empire Strikes Back. Because I think that's the movie that really shows what the characters are willing to do for what they believe in. And that's the movie that really establishes who's a hero.
Right.
Because for Jose, he says that Return of the Jedi is his favorite Skywalker, essentially, is his favorite Luke, is Return of the Jedi, because he's coming in all badass and, and it's like, and you could tell shit happened, like shit went down and,
right.
And
your boy returns a man.
Right. But you see, the funny thing about it is that movie, Jedi didn't really do anything for me, because I guess like his final heroic act is forgiving his father. But I think what people misinterpret about that scene is that Luke forgiving his father doesn't all of a sudden make him make Darth Vader a hero.
Right.
Which is the reason why they kind of like I forgot Anakin, like putting Anakin like a younger Anakin in the when Lucas redid it, it's like, and he put like a younger Anakin in that final scene on Endor, where it's like Luke sees, he sees Yoda, he sees Ben, and he sees he sees Obi-Wan, and he sees Anakin. And at the end, it's supposed to be the older Anakin, that it's like, that Anakin found grace at the end. But I think that he changes the meaning when he changes it to a young Anakin. And it's like, no, young Anakin didn't deserve grace. It's like he was the right-hand man of an empire.
Right.
And he did, I mean, it's like, what's a little genocide between friends, type of thing, it's like, I mean, I think that there comes a point where it's like, it's kind of like with Inside Man, where Luke can forgive his father, but the rest of the galaxy doesn't have to.
Right.
And it's like, and because of that doesn't turn Ben Solo into a hero. No. Ben is the next one. It doesn't turn Anakin into a hero. It's the same thing with Ben Solo, right? They tried to redeem him, and it's like, oh, he's a hero. No. And he goes, no, fuck that. He is not a hero. He did way too much heinous shit to be forgiven enough to be considered a hero.
Right.
So there does come a point where it's like, it's like, you kind of, so when you're creating a hero, when you're writing a hero, right, there's that line you cannot cross and still have your character remain a hero. Even if you have like something like an anti-hero. Like the character that I keep seeing people bring up as like the quintessential anti-hero is Mad Max.
Or Venom.
Oh, Venom? Really? I'm not familiar with Venom enough. So he's an anti-hero?
Yeah,
I always thought he was a villain.
No, well, I mean, I guess it depends on who you talk to, but
Right.
I get anti-hero. But go ahead.
Well, right, because it's like Mad Max is an anti-hero, especially in this these last couple of movies, where this is just a guy who just wanted to be fucking left alone. And oh yeah, Ben Solo in the books was done dirty by the movies. He was a great character, but killed off almost immediately. Anakin and Vader were both mass murderers. There's no way. There's no that was. What was it? There's no way that Vader. Oh, he killed all those sand people. Well, he killed the sand people. He killed the younglings. He was the head of. He slaughtered all those guys in the ship trying to get the plans. From getting. To Leia. I mean, it's like no. It's like he's not a hero. There is no redeeming Vader on a grand scale. Like I said, Luke forgave him, but that's between you and that. That's between you and him. The rest of us, we want to see that asshole at the Hague.
Right.
Yes,
thank you.
Fuck
with that. That's a new one.
Yeah. So that's the thing that it's like so you have like Mad Max, so it's like Thunderdome, right? It's like Max, right? Raggedy Man. He just wanted to be left alone. He just wanted to just survive this shitty environment, and then he had these people dragging him into shit. And even then he was very conscientious as to what he was being asked to do. Oh, kill a man? Sure. Kill a mentally deficient man? Are you nuts?
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's like, so that's what still made Max a hero. Even though he wasn't necessarily being heroic.
No, just his morals aligned with yours as you were reading it or viewing
right.
it.
Yeah. That's he would not cross, that there are lines that he would not cross because that was his moral center. There's this thing that I read recently that kind of stuck itself in my head, where it's like evil people will pretend to be good, but good people can never pretend to be evil. Because it's like the moral center.
Corrupting themselves.
Well, right, but that's the thing, because it's like, so that's and then the end thing is like, so when evil people show you who they are, believe them. Because it's like, because a good like a good person has a strong enough moral center that they'll, like I said, they'll get to a certain point, but then pull back because they can't act that way.
Right.
That in the end they cannot act that way. But an evil person can fake it all day long. Because they don't have that moral center. It's like they will, it's like, because in the end everything they do, villainous people do, is a scam. Where it's like that they'll do whatever it takes for them to get what they want. But an actual good person will be like, there's a limit to that. And then it's like, I have to really think about whether it's worth it if I have to cross that line. And I think that the scene that I wrote for Eagle Raven, it shows that, yes, she's willing to do certain things, but there still is a line she will not cross.
Right.
But although ironically though, it's like, it's like that for, it's like, yeah, it's like that she still expects somebody to learn their lesson in this scene. I'm going to keep it to the context of this particular story arc, because I do have a story far down the road where it shows that there is another consequence to her doing that, to her taking that stand. But because it's not part of this arc, and I don't know whether, like, if I'm ever going to get to that story, I don't want to, like, really kind of, like, muddy the waters with it. But pretty much in the context of this story arc, as in the story as it stands right now, this is where I show Eagle Raven showed that, yes, she's the hero, but she still needs to do certain things, but there's a certain line she won't cross. And I think that's kind of, and I think that's like important when building a hero, is to show that line, because it's like, don't have your hero character be like so goody, like, oh, it's like
right,
that they almost have a lack of personality.
Right.
Yeah, that's
the greater good. That's what's like,
right.
The whole greater good thing, comes into play when you're talking about morally good characters.
Right.
Oh shit! And there it goes. I had a decent thought, Daphne, and
no,
jumped out of my brain. It's like, never mind.
That's a shame. Oh, we'll get back to it. It'll probably come back. But yeah, so it's like, so I was just like thinking
buffering.
Buffering. Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, like what are the heroes that we are attracted to, and why are we attracted to them? I'm just kind of wondering whether I just have a really narrow definition of what a hero is. Because it's like,
and I'm not attracted to heroes, I don't think, like in that way, like,
or is it just the goody stuff? Like, yeah, it's like,
I can't deal with a goody because I can't be the bad guy in the relationship.
Right. Yeah. You see, and that's I think that's kind of the problem with goodies too, which I think also is kind of like part of this weird discourse about you have to be an absolutely perfect person or you're not good. Like, right. It's extreme, is that, just because you're with a goody doesn't mean that I'm villainous.
Right.
But the thing is, though, is that just because you're a goody doesn't mean you're actually good either. If it means that you will sacrifice me for something that kind of doesn't affect you.
Right.
Because also it's like, you had just said it, like, for the overall good or something.
For the greater
the greater good, right? The greater good. Like, this is kind of like a very amorphous concept. And to tell you the truth, it's like that turns into another form of villainy when it's like that you would sacrifice the people around you for an amorphous greater good.
Thank you. Like, I could never get that fucking concept, especially because I live through life like this. Okay, like, I do have empathy when I see videos of things happening in the world for other people or whatever.
Right. No,
but
absolutely.
In my life, in my world, we are all our own main characters, and then we have our our secondary player characters, which are our friends or whatever. But beyond that,
I
hate to say this, but you're NPCs. At least until you come into and are introduced, and maybe then you become something different. But like, I'm going to do what's going to protect and provide for my immediate before I branch out to here. So
it's like, I guess what would be the equivalent of it? Like I guess it would be like being more concerned about strangers than being concerned about the people around you.
Right.
Like your friends or family. That it's like, like someone like people who will automatically protect a person they don't know before they protect you.
Right.
And it's like, that's not good.
No.
You think you're doing a good thing, but I don't know, like, it's kind of like, like someone, like you're with somebody and they push you under a bus to save somebody they don't know.
Right.
Something like that, it's
like, that's it.
Where it's like it's like, because there comes a point where it's like, well, did I mean anything to you? Like, it's kind of like that. And it's like, and I think that's why Samwise stands out so much, because no matter what happened, right? No matter how angry, how Frodo, the ring was corrupting Frodo and making him say things, Sam was like going, Sam always understood that
this is not you.
This is not you. And not only that, but it's like, you mean that much to me.
Right.
Right. So it's like, but there was like there was that scene where it's like, where Sam was like leaving, where he was leaving, because Frodo told him to go away, and it's like, the best relationship is you both choose violence for each other. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll empathize with you, but don't ask me to choose. Like, I'll empathize with strangers, but don't ask me to choose between you as a stranger and me and my own.
Right. I would choose violence for you, Daphne.
Right.
No, I almost did.
You almost did. What? Don't choose violence.
Oh, I will.
I mean, it's like, and mind you, it's like, I'm not even talking about violence literally, right?
I know.
It's kind of like that whole thing. It's like, I think like the situations I hate to be in is, don't make me choose between you and somebody I equally care about. Right. like everyone's like pitting each other. Like, oh, you like I have to choose an allegiance.
You know what happens to me when that happens?
What?
When someone comes to me with an ultimatum about another person, if they're equal in my head, I immediately disregard the person who's asking me to make that decision. Like,
it's tough.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Like, I just shut down. I'm like, you can't do. No, this is not how people.
Right.
When this is not how we work.
Right. Yeah.
We don't do that here.
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, it's either us or it's them. And it's like, and that kind of, like, well, who are you? I mean, it's like, because it's like, I remember an incident where I was being told, well, you either choose us or you choose being with Meredith and Nita, without going into detail. Right. And I actually threw the question, I did a reverse Uno on them, I remember. I'd say, it's like, well, this is what I'm going to continue to do. How about you make that decision? You can do with that decision. You can make the decision however you want. I know what I'm going to do.
Right.
Oh
my God, I'm choosing violence, Daphne. I'm choosing violence right now in my head. All of a sudden, I'm mad again.
Well, because you know who I'm talking about, but but that's what I did. I didn't make a decision. I says, look, this is what I'm doing. You're the ones with the problem with it. You can make a decision on that. But also it, so it's like, so I don't think so. When we're talking about like a goody hero forcing people to make that type of decision, that to me, that doesn't make them heroic at all.
No.
So it's like, so I think it's like a good hero is someone who like embodies those conflicts, because, because technically Judge Dredd followed the law to the letter. I don't think there's anybody who can realistically say Judge Dredd is a hero.
Mm-mm.
I mean, really, it's like he's not. He was never. Judge Dredd was never. And it's funny. It's like, and I kind of wonder also whether Judge Dredd was kind of created as a parody of that system, where it's like, as long as you follow the rules, you're the good guy. And it's like, oh, this is for the greater good, but that's not what was being portrayed in Judge Dredd, it's like, yeah, was Judge Dredd really for the greater good? What was the greater good? I mean, it's like that he was protecting, so I don't think anybody would consider Judge Dredd a hero in that sense. If you're taking, the logical conclusion to that goody thing where it's like, well, just follow the laws, and it's like, kind of like, it almost, you end up with horseshoe theory on that, where you're so good, you actually turn into a villain, Oh my goodness. So, any final thoughts about your heroes?
No, because I don't have many.
Right. No, yeah.
Like, no, seriously, when I sit here and I try to contemplate who I view as a hero, it is complicated. It is very complex, and there are very few that I see as heroes.
Right, because
and mine are actually very weird choices, because a few of them are like,
Well, okay. So here, one last question to end at: who's your favorite character
of all time?
Just the one character that it's like, that's my boy or whatever. That's my girl. That's my boy.
Oh my god, Julie Winters. Julie Winters is
right. Okay, good.
All time is it. That is
from the Max, right?
Woman. Yeah.
Right. Would you consider her a hero? Would you consider her heroic?
In a way, yeah.
Maybe,
she battled her own demons for the sake of others. So yeah.
Right. So it's like, so being, so I guess it's like there's also like different levels of heroism.
Yeah. Right.
There's like, I guess Julie's was more like an internal heroism, I guess, rather than, although the Jungle Queen was supposed to be a manifestation of her heroism, right? I guess just like with the Max, it's like the big purple thing was supposed to be a manifestation of the heroism that he felt, that the guy felt he had still in him. Right, the homeless guy, right?
Right.
It's like, it's just kind of, it's like right now, my heroes are kind of leaning dark, but, like Conan, right? It's like, would he be a hero? He's more like an anti-hero, maybe. That it's like he's just an adventurer that just gets into shit and just happens to benefit people.
That chaotic good. Right. Good.
I don't know if he'd be chaotic good, but I don't know. But yeah,
good. Because chaotic good is what's good for you.
Right. Yeah. But that's kind of like what was on my mind, with all this writing and stuff, where it's like, because like, it's like, because it's like sometimes I get concerned. It's like, oh, am I making Eagle Raven like too weird of a hero, or like not enough of a hero, or this, that, and the other thing? But it's like, what? In the end, it's like I could only write the story the way that makes sense to me in terms of characterization. And it's like, and in the end, it's up to the readers to decide like what she is ultimately, and it's like, and I have no control over that. So I can only hope that I'm writing that the story that I feel I'm writing comes across as the story that I'm writing, you know.
Right.
Although I do get curious when people interpret things in my story that I didn't intend, but I'm like, oh, that's neat. You know, but we'll see. We still got 4 more issues to get through before we can, I guess we can make a collective final decision as to how well I did this story. So so I guess we can end that. That's a good place to end it on. So yeah. So I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for putting in your $1.25 in this conversation, because God knows they're not making pennies anymore.
No more.
There's no 2 cents no more. So now it's like $1.25 counting for inflation. So thank you so much for keeping us company in your chat. Yeah. Thank you so much to all of the beautiful eyeball people listening to us in the background. We hope that you got just as much work done as we were talking, you know. So I hope you enjoyed, got something out of this conversation, and contemplate, you know, why you're attracted to the certain heroes, or what constitutes being heroic, and all that, you know, just fun stuff to think about when you're working on your stuff. So yeah, you know, so it's like and if you're catching on the replay, who do you consider is heroic? Who's a hero to you? Who's not a hero to you? Although we're gonna do a separate conversation about villains at another time, but today it's about heroes. Let's talk about heroes. Oh my goodness. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and all the other stuff I'm associated with, including my upcoming Kickstarters, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can check out Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, speaking of, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and you can read the archive of over 1,000 pages there. And I think that if there's any story that I write that really blurs the line with what is heroism, what constitutes heroism, and who's a hero and who isn't, I think Tall Tales really covers that question. And you have 1,000 pages, over 1,000 pages to make that decision as to what, you know, who is a hero, who's not a hero, who's being heroic, is it really heroic, you know, and what those lines are. So, you know, so I hope you enjoy that there. And while you're on my website, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. We can keep up to date with all of my new art, my sketchbooks, my comics, my Kickstarters, and get a free PDF comics bundle just for joining. You get a free issue of Tall Tales, a free issue of Ego Raven, and a free issue of the Oswald Chronicles just for joining. And really quick, Ego Raven is on Webtoon, which updates today. Ego Raven is also on Kickstarter, which will launch in September. So make sure you sign up for the pre-launch. And I think that that's about it for now. So thank you everybody for joining us. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you.